Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to have a workshop about how to teach online using Microsoft Teams. In this workshop, we are going to demonstrate the basics of using the features in Teams. I'm not going to talk about anything advanced. I'm not going to use any additional outsourced materials or tools. I'm just going to focus on how we can use Teams to deliver a lesson using simple tools. We are going to start with how you can prepare your team, enrolling students, and then we are going to see how you can create announcements and reminders. After that, I'm going to deliver or give you a sample lesson and see how you can teach using Microsoft Teams. Um, And then if you have time, we can talk about how you can use physical classroom rules like the whiteboard and the smartboard. Also additional tools and websites you can use. And finally, I'm going to tell you where you can find help and what to do if you have a problem and if you need help in some technical. Before we start, I would like you to check if you have access to the chat box. Can you type a yes in the chat box? Okay. Now, if you have, look at the toolbar, see if you can raise your hand. Very good, I can see people, some people are raising their hands. Now click the same button again to lower your hand. Now this is the first thing you might need to do when you start your online teaching or the lesson. Take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or maybe 30 minutes at the beginning when you start in the first week. You might need to take 30 minutes just to make sure that everything is working properly. Test your microphone. If students complain about the microphone, try to use alternative device. One time, use a microphone or a headphone. The second time, rely on the microphone in your laptop, for example. Test things around and see what works best. You may not find the ideal voice quality, but compare two methods and see which one is better for you. Now, let's start with the point number one, creating a team. Now, in Teams, once you log in or sign in, the first thing you are going to have is an empty page. Let me just go to the beginning. Something like this. Now, all you have to do is to find the Create Team button. Where is it? Can you see it? Okay. Click the button. Now you can either join with the code or create a new team. You have different options. For the sake of teaching, we are going to create a new class. Give it a name, for example, level 3, group 12. I don't know. You may write a description. This is optional. Click next. Now the team is being created. We don't know the students. We don't have names. You can skip this step now. Now, this is what you're going to see once you create a team, an empty page. Now, do you see the title? This is the name of your team. Click on the ellipses. Ellipses are your friends. Always look for ellipses if you want to access settings and manage your team. Now, from the ellipses, I'm going to look for Edit Team. This button will allow you to rename the group or choose an logo. For example, let's choose something fun and colorful. Yeah, for example, you can make changes anytime during the semester. Now, the team has been created. The second step is to create channels. What do you mean channels? Basically, a channel is a section. You want to organize your work and material according to different sections. This will allow you to find the material you are looking for quickly and also will help your students navigate the team. Now, look here, look on this side, you have the word general. This channel is created for you by default, automatically. Now, general, you can use this space to talk about general things, something not specifically related to to a skill or a topic or to a lesson. We want to create channels. Now, what kind of channels we are going to create? And by channels, I mean sections. For example, let's go to the group. I made a mistake of clicking the ellipses in general. No, click the ellipses of the group. Now, do you see the option? We're going to add a channel. Let's call this channel writing. And we can add another channel called reading. Can you guess the name of the third channel? Let's call it, for example, listening and speaking. Oh, it's not allowed? Okay. For example, you can add a description to the channels if you want. Here you go. Now I have three. I have added channels here, and I can't remove the word general. It will always stay the same. I can't even change the name or edit. However, I can make changes to the channels I created. I can always manage the channel or edit the channel. If you don't like it, you can delete it altogether anytime during the semester. Now, I have divided my work or divided the sections according to skill. However, you can divide the channels in a different way. Think about it. How are you going to set the channels in your team? One colleague suggested to divide the channels according to weeks, for example. So I have week 1, week 2, week 3, until week 13. That's a very good idea. For my students in my group, I have created channels according to topics. Driving, given directions, speaking is one channel. And then we have given instructions, writing, another channel. This will help you and your students navigate through the topics and know where to find what they are looking for. Why? What do you mean? Because let's have a look at the team here. Let's go back to general. Look at the top. What do you see? Posts, files, class notebook, assignments, and grades. Okay. Look at the bottom. Have format, attachment, emojis, and so on. Okay. Now let's look at another channel. Listening and speaking. Look at the top. What do you see? Posts, files, notes. Look at the bottom. Format, attachment, emojis. Okay, let's go to the reading. Okay, so every channel has a section for posts and files, which means if you want to write something related to reading, you have to make sure that you click the channel reading first. If you want to write or talk about something related to writing, make sure you click on the writing channel, and then you can add a post. We are going to talk about this point very soon. Now, the toolbar on the top, we are going to call them tabs, pages. This is a page where you can write posts. This is a page where you can add files. Now we can add more pages. Now, if you go to general, you can see lots of tabs here, additional tabs. Click the plus sign and you can add more tabs. A tab can be a website. For example, I can add YouTube. Now, if students want to go to YouTube, they don't need to exit the program or Microsoft Teams. They can access YouTube from here. Point. Let's add a website. For example, the e-learning. The e-learning portal. Now they need the URL, the link to the portal, e-learning, copy and paste the link. Now save. See, this way I have included a tab inside Microsoft Teams where students can easily access the e-learning portal. The e-learning portal has Microsoft Office, so this is a shortcut. You can add as many tabs as you like. I want you to add a website or an app called Insights. Everyone have to do this. Insights will record the traffic of will record the activity inside your team. It will allow you to keep track of the students. This is something extra, but we want you to do it for the sake of monitoring your group. Please write a note of this. Find and add the website or the app called Insights in your team. Next, let's go back to general. Let's go at the bottom. Now, the bottom bar is where you can find apps that you can share. What do you mean? When you click, for example, YouTube, you will be able to add a YouTube video to the here are things you can share. For example, you can share a post or an announcement. Let's start an announcement. Please, the first button is called Format. Make the habit of clicking Format. I know you can start writing right away from here. You can write a conversation, but make sure you click the button Format to have access to more options. Now, I can write a new conversation or click the arrow and switch to announcement. Announcements are very catchy and colorful. Now, for the sake of us giving you a sample lesson, I'm going to give you something to do before the lesson. For example, I'm going to write an announcement about something about the new writing lesson. Okay, let's add a subhead. And now you can write a paragraph, a body, or leave it empty. I'm going to say, for example, now you can make changes to the text. For example, you can add a bullet, or you can make it larger. How about we add a highlight, or change the color of the text? You can edit and make changes to the text the way you want. Make it bold, for example, underline it. It's just a Word document. Everyone can reply. Are you going to post it in multiple channels? No, I just want it to be here in general. How about I post it in general as well as the writing channel? That's a good idea. Okay. Let's go to my group, my team. So I want it to be in general and writing. Update. General and writing. I can post the same announcement in other teams I own. Let's try that. For example, I have another group here. I can post the same message, the same announcement in the other group I have. If you are happy, if you are satisfied, Click here to add an illustration or upload an image. Make the announcement interesting. Let's choose something related to writing. For example, this image. Now we are ready. We have our announcement. Read the attached handout. Where is the handout? How can I attach a handout? Let's go at the bottom. Look at the second option, attach. Now this option is going to allow me to attach all kinds of files. If you have a video, if you have an audio file, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, any kind of file, you can add it and upload it from here. If you already have files inside your team, you can just select them from here. If you have files in your OneDrive, you can select the files directly from this option. Today, we're going to upload a file from a computer. It will open a window. Now, you should know where the file is or look for it. This window will allow you to look for the file you want. For example, we are going to select Level 3 Supplementary Material Instructions. Open, wait for it to upload. When you are ready, click on Send. Where is it? Where's the button? Send. Now, everyone in the team will have access to this post. They will be able to read it. Now, this is how you can create posts. You can create class discussions. Look at the small button here, reply. Students, all of the students, everyone inside the team can reply to you. They can see each other's messages. They can reply to each other. You can create homework reminders. Nobody has an excuse now. Once you finish the lesson, post the homework. You can create, for example, class discussion. Upload a picture or write a question. Students can reply to you or to each other. There are so many options you can utilize this space for. How about, for example, you create a channel and call it a virtual cafe? This way, students will have a space where they can just interact. Talk about something not necessarily related to the academic stuff. Just have fun together. Build rapport. They can post memes, pictures, anything they want. Now look at the organization of the channels. It's going to be organized according to the alphabetical order. If you want to move them around, you won't be able to do that. A good idea is to number them, because every time you add a channel, the order will change. So this is going to be 0, for example, and then reading, for example, is going to be number 1, so on and so forth. Week 1, week 2, like this. If you have your channels divided according to topic, it will be easy for students to navigate and find the topic they want. Another important feature in Teams is files. If you click on General, you can add files about general topics. If you click on, for example, Writing, you will be able to add files related only to writing. Students, when they click on Writing, they will be able to find files related to writing and reading, speaking, so on and so forth. You can create files within Microsoft Teams. You can click and start typing and creating a new Word document. You can upload all kinds of files, even videos and audio files. But remember, your files are connected to OneDrive. So if you upload large videos, it might take up lots of space. Copy the link, share it with the students. Once you list all the important files, send the link to the students so they would know where to find the files. Students can download them. Experiment and see what options are available to you in the File tab. I repeat, every channel has a file section. Let me show you an example from my group. Given directions, I have files here. Okay, what about speaking exam part 2, asking? I have files just about writing and asking questions. We are ready with the channels and we have the announcements ready. We have the app insights. Now we are ready to enroll students. There are 3 methods we can use to enroll students. The first method is to send a link. How did you join the meeting today? Did you receive a link? No. I want to enroll students in the team, not a meeting. To do that, let's go to the group, to the team we have created. Click on the ellipses and get the link to the team. Do you see it? Click it. It will give you a link to copy. Now you are ready to share the link. You can post it. You can send it in an email, WhatsApp if you're using your phone, and so on. The second method is to use a code. To generate a code, again, from the team, go to the ellipses, and now go to Manage Team. Here, you have to click on Settings. Find Team Code. Here, you can generate codes, copy them, display them. You can print the code and distribute it if you want. You can generate as many as you want, or you can use the same code throughout the semester and the next semester. The third method is to type the names of the students manually. Now this method is time consuming. From the beginning, let's go to the team, click on the ellipses, and you are going to add members. Now you have a new window. If you want to add students, just type their names or their IDs. For example, if I write Hiba, look how many Hibas I'll get. Which Hiba is enrolled in my group? Okay, so I have to check the attendance list or simply type the ID number. If you select the wrong person, the wrong student will be enrolled in your class. You have to be careful with that. You can also enroll teachers to your team. Why would you do that? Because you may want your partner to help you manage your team. Absolutely, why not? Can you add a teacher as a student? Yes. The system or Microsoft Teams connects every person enrolled or registered in the system, in the database here in the college. Every student, every teacher can be found from this window. You can enroll anyone within the college system and database. You can enroll teachers as students, and you can enroll students as teachers. Why I would do that? Maybe you want to have a student to help you manage the team. Now, you can type the IDs one by one, all of them, and then add them at the same time. When you are happy, when you are ready, click on the ellipses, manage team. Now you will be able to see the members. I am the owner of the group. All the members and the guests will appear on the second section. If you want to remove a student, if a student is added by mistake, you can remove the student from the X by clicking the X button. Look at the arrow here. You can promote a member to owner. Now this person have the authority to control the team to manage the team with you. And you can change the the label of a person from owner to member, as long as you are an owner, as long as you have the authority to do that. Channels, also you can manage the channels from here. Check the settings, see if you are happy with the settings here. Settings, I advise you to have a look at the options and see what works, what matches your teaching style. Analytics, this is a built-in app in Microsoft Teams. It will give you a summary of the students' activities. Now, here are some reflection questions for you. What do you think? Maybe you can type your answer in the chat box. These are 3 most common issues we faced with our students in the last semester. Now, emails aren't activated yet, or students don't check their emails. So how are you going to send a code? How are you going to send a link? And even if you send a link, maybe some students don't know how to log in, how to use the code that you have shared. How are you going to enroll your students? So although it is time consuming, I believe that typing the name of your students and enrolling them manually is the best and safest way. It takes time, but it seems to be the best option. But you have the freedom to try the 3 of them and see what works. Now, we have created our announcements and we have everything ready. We share the file. It is time to start our lesson. To start a lesson, we are going to use the meeting option. So let's go back to the meeting. Let's go back to the team. Choose, would you like to have a meeting in the general channel? Or if you are going to discuss writing, how about you start a meeting in the writing channel? Now find the button meet. Where is it? Here you go. You can meet now or you can schedule a meeting. To learn more about scheduling a meeting, I'm going to send you a PP or PowerPoint file. Now, would you like to have a camera on, off? Start meeting. Start meeting now and you can start your lesson. I can't do it now because we are already in a meeting. Now, in the lesson, in the video, or as you are waiting for the students, I advise you to put something up. For example, you can have something like this about online class etiquette, or you can have something about classroom rules, for example. I advise you to do something like this for 1 or 2 weeks until students understand and get used to the new platform. After that, you can put a picture, for example, or write questions for students to discuss, or a poem, part of a lyrics. Give something to students. Try to keep students busy because it doesn't matter if you log in 15 minutes, half an hour before the lesson, you will find someone. Students, you will absolutely find early student. You will find an early student who will join you in the meeting. So make sure that you have something for those early students. Now, you can have the option of share the desktop or a file. I'm going to send you a file that explains the difference, but the easy option is just to share your desktop. Now, let me show you how you can share the desktop. From the toolbar here, click the button Share. And then you will have this window. Now, you can share a file or you can share your desktop. Make sure that you click this button, Include System Audio. Include system audio if you are planning to play video in your desktop or play an audio file. If you don't do this, if you don't click this button, students will be able to see what you are watching, but they will not be able to hear what you are playing. Share the desktop, make sure you click the button. Now you are ready to teach. Click here, show participants. You will see the list of all the people in the meeting. Do you see the ellipses? Click on the ellipses and download the attendance list. This is how the attendance list will look like. You will have the name of the student and the time they joined and left. Yes, so if students decided to just click to register and leave, you will be able to see them. The details will appear here. Some teachers suggested to download the attendance list once at the beginning of the class and again at the end of the class. You are free to do that. A teacher suggested to download it 3 times, at the beginning, middle, and the end. Of course, and then you can compare the lists. It's up to you and it's between you and your students, but you can take attendance from this list. Insights, the program Insights that I asked you to add is going to do that for you and for us. The program Insights is going to record students' activity. Please, again, I repeat, make sure you download and add this program. The next thing you want to, so these are, okay, now you are ready to teach. Let's share the file that I want to teach you or show you today. This is the file that I shared with you, and I'm going to use it to teach. The topic is given instructions. Now, to set the context, I can prepare a PowerPoint. For example, I'm going to show you a picture and I want you to guess the item. If you know what the item is, write or type your answer in the chat box. Okay, ready? What's this? Oranges? لقيمات, exactly, yeah, these are لقيمات. Do you know how to make them? Now I want you to use the toolbar. Raise your hand if you know how to make القيمات. Let's see how many of you can make القيمات. Okay, now those who rose their hands, one of you, I'm going to select one of you, and I want you to tell us how you can make القيمات. Can we make القيمات using a machine? Now, I have used the chat box and the microphone to engage students and set the context. Our topic is given instructions. For example, now you have a large number of students. You can't force them or you can't expect them to speak, all of them to speak at the same time. So try to mix between the chat box and ask them to raise their hands to use the microphone. In the summer or before in the summer course, I had around 11 or 7 students. So for me, it was fine. Students could talk to the microphone, interrupt each other, and it wasn't really noisy because we were just few of us. But if you are teaching 28 or 30 students, I think it will be better to in the mic. But it depends on you. It's completely up to you how you want to use it. Now, in this file that we are teaching, let's imagine that we are discussing this file and we have a reading text here. Now, students can read with me. They can look at my screen, or they can look at their own files because I already shared the file. They can download their own versions. Now, look at this icon here. Do you see the it means there is an audio file. Where is the audio file? It's in the folder that I have. So I can play the audio.
Part 1, Safety Instructions.
Students will be able to hear it and read from my screen at the same time. Let's move to task number 2. This was homework. Did you write the homework? Or we can do it together now in the class. Now, these are the questions what students can't write here. I want every student to write their own questions, their own answers. How can I do that? Now, Microsoft Teams offers us something called Class Notebook. I advise you to invest some time and learn how you can use or utilize this tool. Classroom Notebook. If you are using it for the first time, you will have the freedom to select the sections and rename them. You can add more or delete the sections. If you skip this step, you can do it later. It's not really a big issue. Getting your class notebook ready. Now this should be done once, and after that it will be ready for you to use for the rest of the semester. Now, as you can see here, you will find an arrow. Click it. You will be able to reveal sections. Now let me take you to my group. Let's see how the sections in the notebook will look like. Let's click on the arrow. First, you will have a welcome. This is something you can prepare in advance. You will have a collaboration space. This tab or this section is shared by all the students. Everyone can access this tab, share something together, write something together. If you have an activity you want students to edit together, you can use this shared space. It's like a Google document. Look here, you can add pages. You can ask students to work in groups, for example. You can prepare this in advance, or you can set it up during the lesson with the students. Another shared space is content library. This is something you can prepare in advance as well. Now, every student will have their own private section. They will have the sections that I can decide what are the sections, how many sections, and what are the names. Students cannot see each other's sections. No, every student will have a private tab. As a teacher, however, I will have access to everyone. I will be able to work with individual students. If a student needs help, I can click their names, access their notebook, and work with them privately. If I have something for the whole class, I can use the collaboration space or write a post for everyone to interact with. Now, if I have a homework, for example, this was a homework, all students can do is copy, go to their notebook. For example, this is, let's select Ahmed. Yeah, let's go to Ahmed. So this is going to be task 2. Ahmed can simply paste the questions and start writing answers. As you can see, the notebook has the same toolbar like a Word document. You can change the font, make it bold. You can insert a table, a picture, insert a file. You can draw. You need to experiment and explore the notebook tab. Lots of useful tools. If students made mistakes, you can write notes, you can guide them within the notebook, or you can just create a post. It's up to you, depending on the task and activity and the goal you hope to achieve. Now let's talk about what if we have a pair, if I want to set a group work. Now, unfortunately, Microsoft Teams doesn't support breakout rooms. We can't do it within Teams unless we set it up manually. how we can set up breakout rooms. Now I have my method. Maybe you will like it, maybe not. There are several methods. You may find them online. I'm going to show you my method. See if you like it. Otherwise, I'm going to share with you a link to an article that shows you how breakout rooms can be done. Now, what I do is basically I would open an empty file. I usually start with an empty page. At the end, the page will look like this. I have 1, 2, 3 breakout rooms, and I have assigned students to each breakout room, and I have a link to the room. How did I do that? How did I create it? How can I create something like this? Let's create breakout room number 4 together. Now, don't mind the boxes. This is me. This is how I like to organize my work. So I'm going to create a new box, call it breakout room number 4. This breakout room is going to be for Hiba, Tahira, and Heidi, for example. Now, all I have to do is get a link to a meeting. I'm going to go to my group, for example. This is my group. It's called testing. This is my teaching group, for example. Now, I can schedule a meeting or meet now. I want to meet now because I'm only interested on getting a link. Click meeting, meet now. It doesn't matter if you have the camera on. It doesn't matter if you don't write a subject. You're free to do so. I'm going to call it breakout room number 4. Click meet now. Although you are alone, nobody is with you, but click on meet now. Go to the participants list. Do you see the invite someone box? Here, you can click on this link, join info, copy. You will receive a message that says copy to clipboard. This is how you make sure that the link is copied. Now, just simply hang up. Click hang up and leave the meeting. Now we will go back to the folder, to the file we have created, and paste the link there. Now we are ready. We have 4 breakout rooms with the names, and of course I can make changes. For example, I don't like the second line. It's not necessarily. Delete it. Remove the second line there. If you don't like join Microsoft Team meeting, rename it. Now notice I left a letter G. Do you see it? I left the letter because I don't want to break the hyperlink. Now, once ready, every time I want to have a breakout rooms, I will copy the whole thing and email it or write a post. Students will know which link to click. I can add new students every lesson, every new lesson, or I can shuffle students up and down. Now, I created this page. I have this file, created it once. I can use it throughout the semester. Someone will say, what if a student clicked the wrong link? I don't see how a student would click the wrong link unless they do it on purpose. If they do that, they will just join the wrong breakout room. Now, as a teacher, because I have created these links, I will be able to visit all of the breakout rooms and help students if necessary. Of course, I have to assign a student to watch the time, because once they leave the main meeting and go to the breakout rooms, I won't be able to get them back unless I leave the room to join them. So if I left the room, students left the rooms, how can we get back to the main lesson or the main meeting? How can we do that? We go back to the original email and click the lesson link. Or I can just leave it in a post or in the chat box. This is the main meeting room because we are now in the main meeting room. This is where we are. So before we go to the breakout rooms, I can copy the link and place it in the chat box, for example. Or send it in an email. Make sure that students will know where to go and which link to click once they are done. If students are late, I can leave the main room and go and fetch them. You need to practice this method with someone to be able to comprehend it. If you don't like it, I'm going to share with you another article on how to do it differently. Now, if you are in the classroom, if you have a whiteboard and a smartboard, sometimes you might have the option of placing the camera in the middle of the class and stand up in front of the camera, use the whiteboard. Now, I can't do that because my phone is mirrored and my laptop is mirrored. My left is right and my right is left. If I write something on the whiteboard, students won't be able to read it. But check your cameras and your laptops. You might have that option. Academic advising. You can do academic advising by contacting students privately. Look at the app called Chat. Do you see it? Click on Chat. It will take you to a new page. Here, click on New Chat. New Chat will allow you to communicate privately with anyone within the college, anyone in the database, not only your students, no. For example, I want to write something to Hiba. Again, I can use a username or I can just type the full name. Once I do that, I'll be able to communicate with Hiba privately, send her a message, a file. I can also, for example, talk to them, have a voice call with them, an audio call, or I can have a video meeting with just one person. I can invite not one person, two people, for example, Hiba, and let's have someone else. For example, yeah, I can have 4, 5, 10 people and speak with them privately. They will all be able to see the message I'm sending. They will all receive the invitation to the voice call. Here, for example, I have 2 students. I called them, or I can just type a message and both of them will receive the message. Of course, there are lots of programs we can experiment with and use to make our classrooms more engaging and interesting. And of course, you will have the freedom to use them and incorporate them in your lessons. Absolutely, go ahead if you know how to. Or learn how to do it. And now now you have the opportunity to experiment and learn new skills. If you need help and assistance, I advise you to check YouTube tutorials. They are very simple and easy to follow. I have already shared with you links to something called Microsoft Teams training course. This is a very useful course. It will help you, it will guide you on how to use Microsoft Teams. If you want to learn about teaching English online, I recommend that you have this course. This one was already sent by our colleague Narija and again by Ghada. This course will teach you will give you tips and advice on how you can teach English, teach the English skills, reading, how you can teach speaking and listening online. The course is for free. You only pay for the certificate. If you don't need a certificate, it's fine. I really recommend it. Please make time and check this course. If you need some help and assistance from Microsoft Teams, you can explore the help button. Lots of useful tutorials and videos you can find inside your Teams. Have a look. And we have created a team called ELC Technical Support Team. In this team, we are going to share videos, tutorials, PowerPoint. If you are interested, please join our team. I'm going to share a link and send you a code. If you have a problem, write a post about it, because I'm sure that everyone, we will all face the same problems. If you have a solution, reply to your colleagues. We are all in this together. It's going to be a new experience for everyone. So please use this place, take advantage of this space and the files and the help offered. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, I will be happy to answer them. Thank you, everyone. Now, just to end the meeting, again, make sure that you click on the ellipses and end the meeting. This way, you can make sure that nobody is left behind by mistake. If you hang up, students can, whoever is in the meeting, they can continue with their meeting. If you want everyone to leave, make sure that everyone leaves. Click on the meeting button. Thank you, everyone, and have a nice day.